A little bit of rain drizzle out here, but it's my first chance to work on my E250 van. The problem is it won't start, and it just died. So the engine turns over, but there's no spark or fuel, something. So it's either something to do with spark or it's fuel. And usually when it just dies like that, it's going to be something to do with the fuel pump, or worse case scenario to me would be that it's the timing chains. So I've gotten this breather off of here so that we can do our checks, but make sure you leave it hooked up. There's a sensor in there that's very important, airflow sensor, and if it's not hooked up, the car may not start even if everything else was right. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to spray starting fluid into the throttle body right there and see if we can't get the engine to go. So some ether, starting fluid, works real good. And what you have to do is you have to open that throttle body, the butterfly on it, and it's right there. Let's see if we can, there we go. See that, how it's opening that butterfly? Well, you want to be sure to put your starting fluid in while the butterfly is open. Open up that butterfly and spray it in. That should start up. If it doesn't, that means we've got a really, really, really bad problem. That started up, and I was going to see if I couldn't keep it running, but that's definitely means it's a fuel problem, and more times than not it's the fuel pump. Excuse me. Couple things that we can use here is a multimeter. And it's nice to have a schematic electrical diagram of the chassis component, engine schematic drawings. And we're going to start here at the distribution box. And I'm going to show you how to get this cover off without breaking it. And basically there's a tab here, and there's a tab right here on the side panel. And we're going to pull outwards and up on that one and this one. That'll pull this lid backwards. Just popped right off of there. Let's get that out of the way. This bottom right corner here is the relay for the fuel pump. Alright, so we've removed the fuel pump relay. And what we want to do is find a relay in here that's really not being used. We're going to go ahead and replace the fuel pump and see if it's any good. And what I do is I just come over here and look at what relays we have. And J is the horn relay. These relays are all the same. Let's see if that horn relay is working. All you got to do is check it like this. Alright, the horn relay is working. So we're going to pull that out. Make sure we know which one that is again. J. K, the one we pulled out for the fuel pump. Alright, so we're going to stick that in there. We're going to see if it'll start up. Alright, nothing. So it's not the relay. The relay's good. Next step. Let's put that horn relay back where we got it from. That's good. And we know that our fuel pump relay is good. Alright, I've turned off the power to the van. We have the relay pulled out and the socket is exposed. We come over here to the schematic drawing, and in orange it's showing that 12 volts is applied to the fuel pump relay at all times, as long as that 30 amp fuse is good. And that's fuse number 17. Let's just check that fuse before we go any further. Yep, it says so right here, 17, 30 amp fuel pump relay. And if you look at your owner's manual, it's showing in the second row of large fuses, position number 17, and that is the fuel pump relay fuse. Let's see if that's any good. Yep, that looks really good. No problems there. That fuse is in good shape. It's not blown. That concludes the preliminary easy checks. The contacts at the emergency fuel shutoff are a little dirty. At any rate, we're going to put the black lead to ground. And there it is. So this top pin has 12 volts on it at all times. I'm going to mark that down. I made a little drawing of the socket for the relay, and that's 12 volts hot. We know that the fuse is good. And we have power to the relay socket. The fuel pump. Alright, now I'm going to find out where else we might have voltage to the relay. Basically, the coil that engages the fuel pump will come on when we turn the ignition switch on. That goes through the PCM over here to our diagram 2. Right here to the coil power. That's coil power for, that's right, the fuel pump relay. So if that comes, if we can get 12 volts there, we know that this relay should shut. Let's see if we got that. Turn the ignition key to the on position. And let's check for 12 volts. We know 12 volts is here all the time. So that's our power to the coil of the relay. That comes on when the ignition switch is turned on. So that's getting there. So ignition voltage is on the far left pin. Hot voltage that's going to go to the fuel pump is there on the top pin. So what are these other ones? Well, I can tell you right now, the one in the middle does not have any pin or electrical contacts in it. This one right here in the middle, there's nothing there. So we're just going to put a little X through that. I also know that the right side pin is a PCM ground and the bottom pin is going to the fuel pump. With the ignition switch turned off, no power to any type of coils or anything, we're going to switch over to our ohm meter and try it out on 200 ohms maximum. Positive power at the fuel pump which goes electrically through the fuel pump to ground. That should be no more than, maybe 5 or 10 ohms. Alright, right now it's 98 ohms. That's pretty high. I mean, it's just wire. It's windings. It's brushes down there. And it shouldn't be more than, really probably more than about 5 ohms. Reinstall your fuel pump relay. There's one more check you can do. At the emergency fuel pump shutoff switch, depress the reset button located on top of the unit and try to start the van again. The emergency fuel shutoff switch only needs to be checked if the van has been in an accident. Okay, a quick recap of what we've done so far. We've checked to see if there's any problems under the hood at the distribution box pertaining to power going to the fuel pump. The next thing you gotta do is get to the fuel pump and the electrical connector coming from the distribution box down to the fuel pump. Alright, we'll get to how to take out that fuel pump after you read all of this fine print about the dangers of making sparks around fuel lines. We have power at the fuel pump pin as well as at the fuel cylinder. Alright, here comes the teeth cam, and I'll give you the explanation as we go along here. To get this plug apart, you just need to stick a screwdriver between the horseshoe clip and the other side of the plug, and then there's a small tab that's going down when you push on it. And when you push on it, you can just pull or push it out. I'm going to use two hands to show you. And there it is. This is power to the fuel pump. This is coming from the distribution box. Alright, I just turned the fuel pump power relay on. There at the ignition switch. We're going to see if we have any power at these wires. Make sure we're getting power down to at least this point. Alright, I checked both the power to the fuel pump as well as the sending unit for the amount of fuel gauge. And I checked the grounds here. We had positive power at the fuel pump wire as well as the fuel gauge wire. So we're definitely going to get a new fuel pump to put in there, but first let's go ahead and try to apply some power to the old fuel pump. On my Econoline E250, the black wire is a ground, and the pink and black wire is 12 volt positive to the fuel pump. So we're going to hook up those two wires and see if we get any motion from the fuel pump at all. Alright, I've applied 12 volts to the pump. Now we're going to give it a ground. Absolutely nothing. We definitely have 12 volts applied. So that pump is bad. Brushes, who knows what. But it's coming out of there.